Oh, the Anti-Hero broadcast is back. We have a great show for you today. Real hero, real zero. We'll talk about all of it and some more.
Don't let the dog bite people who are not resisting. If you can't look down and see your feet.
Sean Strickland is a hero. George Floyd is not a hero.
The information provided by the speakers and presenters on the Anti-Hero broadcast platform is for general informational and entertainment purposes only. Information does not represent the broadcast network and all entities involved. All information is provided in good faith. However, we make no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information. Hurt feelings is not defamation.
JV team for life.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the Anti-Hero broadcast. It's Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026. We are the news entertainment broadcast for veterans, first responders, and all blue-collar Americans. Join us every day, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Give us a like and a follow and a subscription. Helps us tell the algorithm we don't suck. First off, this show is brought to you by GhostBed. With ghostbed.com/anti-hero, save 10% on their already ridiculously low prices, pillowcases, mattress toppers, cooling patented technology sheets, and their award-winning mattresses. 60,000 plus 5-star rating and reviews, in-house customer service, and free shipping on those big mattresses. So if you got to replace something in the bedroom other than the wife, because GhostBed doesn't have those, go to ghostbed.com/anti-hero, save 10%. And it'll tell them that we sent you. And Elevated Silence. Go to elevatedsilence.com. Use promo code ANTIHERO15. Save 15% on your suppressor. Everything 22s to 50 cals. Exercise your Second Amendment right. Get yourself a can. The process isn't that hard, and Jim will walk you through it. Go to elevatedsilence.com. Use promo code ANTIHERO15. Save 15%.
Patreon. Patreon's still full of OGs. Not the top OGs, but they are OGs. We post in there just about daily now. I posted my run from earlier. Tyler posted a video in there last night. Patreon is where you can get behind the scenes information. We will do one live a week, so that's coming up. We're going to sneak up on you and do a live show. So go, can't hear Mike, they're lying. Go to Patreon. And then go to, if you want to be a real OG, go to the antiheroapp.com. You go to the antiheroapp.com and the little thing pops up at the bottom of the screen with the antiheroapp.com picture. Any second now?
Yep. Eli. There you go.
Go to antiheroapp.com and be part of the 99 cent or 99%, whatever one you prefer. We also post in there. It's like our own Facebook. It's like our own Instagram. It's like our own MySpace, whatever, how old you are. Go to the antiheroapp.com and interact with the boys. I don't know where the deli is. There's a deli somewhere. I don't know where that is.
Yeah, that's definitely for the boys. Get right into it. Sean Strickland, the American hero in the UFC. He did Sean Strickland stuff. First off, he reposted a video that he did not make. And then the UFC and Dana White have, as far as I know, not publicly came out and said anything. It seems to be, but anyways, because it appears to be that video maybe had something to do with him being banned from the White House. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at these, the last two reels that Sean Strickland, can you pull that up, Eli? Sean Strickland put out. So this one's the first one. I think he's eating up the Budweiser journey.
Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of UFC.
So that's the video he put out. And then, like I said, he's saying he didn't make it. And then here's the next video after. Well, he'll explain it, but apparently he got a phone
you guys, I'm not surprised, but I got the call. I got the call. the UFC higher ups called me, big names. And they said, Sean, I gotta apologize, but you're not Israeli enough to go to UFC 250 Israel edition. The White House didn't clear you, and I'm not really surprised. I'm not really surprised. So, I think moving forward, I would like to just apologize to Israel. I'd like to say I'm sorry. I'd like to apologize to Trump, and I just want to prove that I'm Israeli enough for you guys. Like, for instance, whenever the list disappeared, and Trump goes out there and says to everybody that he can't really go into it because people that by association will get prosecuted and their names will be tarnished. I want to apologize because I don't want them to be prosecuted. Or when Trump goes and bombs the fuck out of Iran that no Americans agree with, that costs Americans $5,000 to $15,000 to go fight Israel's war. I want to apologize. Sorry, I've been a critic of that. My allegiance was apparently in the wrong place, and I just want to apologize. Or when Trump goes out there and says, hey, Trump, your approval ratings are the lowest it's ever been across all demographics. And Trump says, well, you know what? I have a 99% approval rate in Israel. I want to apologize and I want to repent. Apparently, I'm not American enough to go to Freedom 250, but I still got my ticket. So maybe we'll just go. I'll bring the bell and we'll just stand outside the gate and we'll just let them know what we really think about Trump and Israel,
What do you think?
I mean, he says it like it is, right? You got to respect somebody who says what's on their mind. I think the king of free speech, and I think it shows free speech only goes one way. I mean, I've been saying it for a long time.
Yeah, it seems that he's making it sound like the White House couldn't clear him, and it wasn't the USC that, because I mean, he obviously wasn't fighting in it, but as a champion,
there's flies all over the world. He fights everywhere. They know what they're getting. I would think Dana White has a huge relationship with the president. There's a lot of politics involved in this, and Sean Strickland is a white dude who says what's on his mind, and that's going to be a problem, I think. And we're seeing that. He can't.
Yeah.
He can't. You can say whatever you want, but there's certain things you say that will get you not allowed to go travel with the rest of the UFC to the White House.
I think we're so split down the middle too about this whole Israel thing. I feel like we really are because, Nick kind of gets me pumped a little bit, and then he says this anti-Israel thing is a think tank and it's a, an echo chamber, I guess, if you will, not a think tank, but, and I'm like, man, I don't want to get caught up in an echo chamber. Everybody can fall victim to that. But I mean, all signs point that Israel is in charge of everything. I mean, people were like, you don't even understand that thing you guys were talking about where we're not merging our militaries. I'm like, okay.
Are we going to hide from the fact that we, over the many, 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 many years, have always just done what Israel wants us to do? I'm not saying I did I'm not here to have a massive G money Trump. Like you said, I think you said it well. Trump has done a lot of good things. There's a lot of things I can put my finger on and go, yep, that's good. Yep, that's good. Yep, that's good. I agree with that. But if you have to agree with everything somebody does, that sounds very dictatorship. That sounds very not freedom. So Sean Strickland doesn't agree with some things. And as a top UFC fighter champion, you would figure all the champions would be allowed to attend, and to be told he can't attend because he says something about a certain group of people. There's a common theme when you say things about some people and you disagree with some people that seems to happen. And here we have a perfect example of it.
Think about that Dana White could make a phone call and be like, do what you need to do to get him. Like, is it obviously they're going to blame a security risk? I don't. He obviously is allowed to fly to other countries, so he's not like on a terrorist watch list. So the fact that he can't go to the White House, it's obviously very political.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And I guess that that's where Dana White has to make a decision. And it obviously puts him in an awkward situation because of his close ties with Trump. But you're also the boss of this guy. You're shitting on your employee because he has free speech.
I think Sean Strickland is way smarter than we give him credit for. And I think that he knows exactly what he's doing. Obviously, a shelf life for a primetime fighter is probably the lowest shelf life maybe for any athlete, maybe comparable to like an NFL. When we've seen guys in the NFL for over 20 years. So look at Aaron Rodgers. But I think he knows that he's got to set himself up for a post primetime fight. Like obviously all these guys are fighting these bouts and stuff, but they're not really, everybody knows they're out of their prime. So we're not really expecting them to go for the belt. It's just fun to watch, the people that were once. That's why I said the UFC needs to have like a gold league where they just, all the guys that don't fight. But Sean knows it. And so he's setting himself up to be a Conor McGregor, but not a piece of shit, I guess, maybe.
What about here, look at this. I'm going to put this spin on for you. Freedom 250. It's the anniversary of freedom, right? Constitution, freedom at the White House. And you're banning a guy for saying something that's his First Amendment right. And he's essentially being banned for using his freedom to disagree. And he's told he can't attend. That's pretty contradictory. Pretty contradictory of freedom.
The APAC thing didn't even make it on the air on Paramount, right? That was just caught off.
Yeah, they cut it before it made it.
Yeah, so I mean, he didn't even say anything on air. He said his post-fight thing. He said something about, I forget it was, but he took a jab at APAC.
His nose was swollen up so big that he looked like he could be an APAC. Yeah.
We got a super chat from Pliglet. I voted for Trump 3 times. I don't agree with everything he's doing. I don't agree with anything he's doing right now. Okay. If I wanted $5 gas, I would have voted for Kamala. And no, Tyler, we're not split. Nobody wants a 20-year war again. I mean, when I say split, I mean split down the middle of. I mean, no, I would have to disagree with Pliglet. I think we're split. I think Trump still has a very, very strong voter base, and just Instagram's super loud. If you knew it, if you looked at our Instagram, you would have no idea that we have right now 51 supporters of our show, Pliglet included, that watched us. You would have no idea. You would be like, dude, these guys are fucking hated by everybody. There's no way, because it's just loud online. I do like to think for myself, and I do like to, not be part of an echo chamber. And so if I'm the first one, if I'm being influenced by anything, I'll try to take a step back. But, the radio stuff really affects what we try to do. How the Jews own all of the radio airwaves. There's 6 major companies that own the radio airwaves that we listen to on FM radio and AM radio. And they're all owned by Jews. And, it's funny as I say all this stuff about, the fact that Spotify can't go live for podcasters. Like, this is insane that you're forced to be on YouTube. And I said it, and I'll say it again, time and time, if I need to, that the Jewish owned radio stations are not going to allow what happens to them, what happened to the taxi industry when Uber came out. Way more convenient, way cheaper, on your time, on your dollar. Like, you're not subject to the taxi industry. So the fact that now iHeartRadio has announced that they are going to be live with select broadcasts that they own. So one of them was the Monsters in the Morning 104.1 in Orlando type thing. They were selected as the first radio stations ever to go live on iHeartRadio video. So they can do it. they're showing that they can do it, but they're only allowing radio stations that are owned by iHeartMedia or Cumulus or let's think of all the other ones, broadband, all those ones. So at the end of the day, it's very hard to sway me from that because a lot of my career goals and taking the show are affected by that.
You know, and G Money uses all those words, echo chamber, being lied to, blah blah. Right now, if I ask you why are we at war with Iran? What is your answer?
Nuclear, like there was a threat of nuclear bombs. That's what I heard. I don't know.
Okay, so here we are. We're back.
We've heard that before, right?
Yeah, we're at war today. There's a peace talk. The straits open, the straits closed. There's a war. We're not at war. We're at peace talk. So it's like, just like all this other stuff with aliens exist, they don't exist, they don't. We really haven't gotten a clear-cut answer as why we're at war, or if we're at war. Are we at war? Like, are we at war? Are we bombing them to protect ourselves from nukes? We're negotiating a straight open, it's closed. There's a ceasefire. Usually in a ceasefire, we're at war, right? There's going to be a ceasefire.
Yeah,
so
the reason why there's a ceasefire is because we're at war.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I get as much as we talk about like Trump deranged syndrome, there's also, I think, Trump support syndrome. People will they love the guy, the way he talks and says things. And I do. I like his straightforward approach to things when it's the right things. If it's, but you can't just get sucked into make America great again and then I can just do whatever I want. And I think we have a very large population now with these podcasts and broadcasts and open forums, as open as they can be without being suppressed by any certain group of people, that they're questioning everything. If you had this type of questioning ability during 9/11 and post 9/11, I think it would have been completely different when they were just shoving weapons of mass destruction down everybody's throat. And then people would be like, hey, we're 3 years in, no evidence. We're 5 years in, no evidence. We're 9 years in, no evidence. Like, to ask the regular person, why are we at war? And we're seeing a mass turn on Trump. And I don't mean turn like we hate him or we want him to die or we want him out, but people are going, hey man, I usually agree with most of the stuff, but I can't get behind this one. And then you get people going,
he's not defending himself in anything. So there's weird shit like, why did Trump go kiss the wall? There's weird shit like, why is DeSantis passing a law in Florida saying you can't deny the Holocaust or you can't really even talk bad about the Jews in general? They're just, that one's what broke me, dude. When you said, I heard about that.
Why's the governor-elect of Florida going over there? Or the guy that's running for office in Florida as a governor?
DeSantis is over there kissing the wall. Like everybody, and it's just super weird and it's almost like cultish now. Like, and there's no answers for that. No, I've never once gotten an answer to why presidents go kiss that wall. No one's ever given me an answer because we don't know. No one knows. There's a
need for having allies, right? We and obviously Israel has a strong military, but there's also like if we're allies with another show, like let's say we're just hypothetically have allies, we're cool. But if they start doing wild shit, we got to go, hey, we're cool with these guys, but we don't believe in everything, right? And we're not talking about Gaza and blowing people up and killing people. We're just talking about maybe they're saying things and we're like, we're not completely aligned. It's important to have allies. I get it. And you have a one group of people amongst a whole different religious groups all around them. But that, I don't know if that gives you a right to just blow everybody the fuck up. Like Gaza's destroyed. And you're never gonna get a real answer, right? If you start going, listening, like we had the Palestinian guy on, and you start listening to him, these guys are pro-Palestine. Like, no, we're just trying to get answers, right? Like if we have Wyatt on, we must be pro-Ukraine. We have the other guy on, we're pro-Palestinian, pro-Palestine, but our job is to like get the information and give it out, and then everybody else kind of goes, okay, I see, this is what we have. But I don't think you can just blindly support people. And a lot of Americans are starting to think that's what's going on, and they're speaking up. And Sean Strickland is now banned from the White House. Speaking up.
I mean, what's the deal with Trump? Not like the Epstein files is a mind fuck to me. because that's another thing that I try not to fall into the whole, groupthink. But I don't know what to think about the Epstein files, and everything's covered up. Then when people say shit made up, like, is Trump really not prosecuting or persecuting people because it would make them look bad?
It's the Spider-Man meme. Everybody's on the Epstein list. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. They're all on it. So they're all going, go ahead, drop it. And they're all pointing at each other. You go ahead. Yeah, your wife's going to find out, or they're going to find out. Yep, and so is yours. Okay, then you drop it. So I think they're all guilty. I think that everybody, there's a lot, they're all on it. They all have some connection to it. We're never going to know. We're never going to get the truth about. Maybe a broadcast 100 years from now will be talking about it like the JFK or 9/11, and maybe they'll get something out of it, an answer. But we're never going to get the truth on that. But I believe they're all involved, and it's like, all right, we all went to this party and we all did drugs. Now they're going to tell everybody we did drugs. Well, I'm not going to tell them. You're going to. Well, if you tell them, then they're going to know you did it, and I'm going to know you did it, and you're going to know, dude. So it's everybody pointing at each other, going, okay. So I don't think it's ever going to come out. Trump has said it's coming out. Then he said it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's like,
well, a lot of people want him. I think he lost a lot of his support when it didn't come out, because I think everybody thought Trump was going to be different than all the politicians, and he didn't do anything. But that's the thing too. These same dumb motherfuckers are on the internet saying, well, I don't support local cops because they're not arresting the Epstein people. Like, are you so retarded to think that a local cop has anything to do with that? So maybe I'm retarded, and Trump, there's no way for him to release him. There's branches of government, although mostly corrupt, for a reason. There's processes for a reason. There's clearances for a reason. That's why I think before Obama, none of the presidents knew or had any insight on the aliens, but Nick says Sean Strickland is a white trash and unhinged liability, which, to be fair, I think he said on podcasts, like, he's one of those guys that you can't cancel because he already got ahead of it and said, I was a racist. Like, I really, truly was in my bones because it's all I knew. That's what he said. He said, it's all I knew growing up. I was a racist. Now, as I'm a grown man, I'm not that anymore. But when he does the press conferences, he does stuff like the Mexicans and the blacks. And it's like, man, I know you're trying not to sound racist, but you're just sounding way more racist than you think you are. Yeah.
I mean, I don't look at him like racist. He just, part of it's entertainment. Like, I believe him and Chimaev said things to each other that they knew was going to try to sell the fight. But I don't know. You're banning a guy from an event that's called Freedom 250 because he said things with his free speech that you don't like. That's ironic.
Wooded Local says UFC is owned by TKO Holdings, which is true. Dana has no more control of it. I don't know how much control he has. He's a puppet. Who runs it is CEO Ari Emanuel. Okay, Ari, yes, that is a Jewish person, just by Ari. Is it making sense now? Yeah, that particular thing does make sense. If I was the shot caller of TKO Holdings and I owned UFC and I had a fighter out there and I was as sensitive, I think Jews kind of come in two different forms. One is there's a Fire Station meme page, one of the fire ones that he's Jewish and he finds what we do funny. And there's CC is Jewish and finds what we do funny and, a little bit insightful. Everybody agrees with some stuff. But then there's Jews that are like, how dare you even question anything? You're anti-Semitic. And so, clearly the owner of TK Holdings might be one of those where it's like, all right, I'm going to take my biggest draw, my biggest moneymaker right now in the UFC and not even let him in the fucking event because he said this about my people.
You know who else owns that? Vince McMahon.
Is he an owner or is he like Dana White?
No, he's a co-owner.
So Dana White's not a co-owner?
He's employed.
I don't know how that works. What? So Dana White's completely out of the
Yeah, TKO Holdings is Vince McMahon and Emmanuel, and then Mark
Dude, he really
Shapiro,
is the super.
like the executive. Yeah.
The super villain is Vince McMahon. That's it. That's who that is.
Genius, dude. He's a fucking genius. Genius.
Pride with $5, free hemp necklaces. Local cops can't do anything in their capacity. Black bag teams and pre-dawn snuggle visits can. He's either Pride Assassin's either the most brilliant man in the world or drunk. Free hemp necklaces. I don't even know what that means. But he said don't read that. Why would you super chat it? But yeah. So I mean, I think we beat it enough. You know, it's it is what it is. Much out. The next big topic, though, that kind of I guess broke yesterday or the day before, is the Henry Noack case. So like I was my wife was briefing me on it yesterday, like up and down, like why didn't you guys cover this? I'm like, I hadn't heard about it. Apparently, this kid was the actual version of what they tried to make George Floyd. However, what do you think the difference between Henry Noack and George Floyd is?
Noack's white.
Exactly. It doesn't really paint a narrative for any type of movement, whether it be malicious movement or real actual movement. Unfortunately, a white person being murdered is not that sexy to the news. So, but this took place in, I think, Great Britain. There's tons of stuff on Instagram about it. Essentially, what happened is a Muslim immigrant stabbed him, and then when the police came, they said he was being racist. The police there in England and Great Britain and all that. And Jay, correct us if we're wrong. And Jay, if you have any more insights on this, by the way, let us know if we're getting something wrong. But the police there are so beat down with political correctness that I think it's affecting their investigation skills. Henry was stabbed by this Muslim immigrant, and then the immigrant claimed that he was being racist towards him, and Henry was handcuffed. The cops didn't believe him, and then he said, "I can't breathe," and he died in police custody because he was stabbed. Now that happened last year, but the body cam just came out, so I got some stuff on that. You have to bear with me. All right, here we go. You pull it up, Eli?
Right. What's happened to you, right? Been stabbed. You've been stabbed? Whereabouts? Don't think you have, mate.
I think you have, mate. Now, their charges right now are because Henry was accused of being racist. They're handcuffing him right now.
Hand? Put the hand in the cuff, mate. Yeah.
This is like new branches has happened to us. You've been walking, you park, nothing happened.
Saying he's been stabbed. So
where is it you think you've been stabbed? In the face? Oh no, but we have to check, don't we?
No.
In the face?
Just get these to back off, get their details on that, and I'll keep hold of them. Right, keep you on your side, mate. You got to retrieve then. Saying to him, keeping him on his side. We were set up when we had him here, but he didn't like it. What's your name, mate? At the moment, you are under arrest. That's for assault, so you do not have to say anything. May harm and defence if you do not mention one question. So to which you later line of court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence, all right? It's going to be sick, I think. I just want you to call it.
Yeah, we've got this male. He's just been beat up. Are we able to get an ambulance, please? His pupils aren't even reacting.
I'm running around the corner.
What's happened to you, right?
Been stabbed.
You've been stabbed? Whereabouts? Don't think, yeah.
So I do have a lot of information on this. Too much to end. So one of the things that was brought up was, here is the weapon that was used. This is an 8-inch ceremonial blade. British people aren't allowed to carry weapons or any means of self-defense. Meanwhile, certain groups are allowed.
But Muslims can.
Yeah, they're not. They're allowed to walk around this because it's a religious thing. Some more.
Britain's George Floyd moment, except the victim in question was an innocent British young lad and not an American serial criminal and heavy drug user. Henry Novak was stabbed in the heart, his legs, his face, and his jaw. He was attacked by this man, Vikram Digwa, who was yesterday found guilty of murder. What happened was that Digwa's brother, Gurpreet, called police after the attack and falsely claimed that Henry Novak had been racist towards his brother. They did not call an ambulance, even though they must have known that Novak had been stabbed. Then Digwa's mother arrived at the scene. She just turned up and she took and then hid the ceremonial knife that was used to stab Henry Novak to death. She was then found guilty of assisting an offender. So then what happened next? Well, it appears that 3 female police officers turned up. Henry Novak told them that he'd been stabbed. They said, no, you haven't. They then handcuffed him and they didn't check him for stab wounds. He then told them that he couldn't breathe and he sadly died, handcuffed, accused of being a racist. And what actually happened was that he drowned in his own blood. The claims that Henry Novak had said something racist or knocked Digwa's turban off his head were completely blown apart during the trial. Because what actually happened again was that Digwa had stolen Henry Novak's phone, which contained footage of the build-up to the stabbing. And it revealed that Novak had not been racist. He'd asked why Digwa was walking around carrying a sword, which I think is fair enough when you think about it, really. And Digwa had responded by saying, I'm a bad man, and then stabbed him multiple times. Now, I just want to reiterate that Henry's last words here were, I can't breathe. And that's important because I'm sure that many people will remember this, what happened to George Floyd, where, of course, he was dying in the street. He died in the street as a police officer had his knee on his neck. And he was saying, wasn't he, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Now, I'm not saying that George Floyd deserved to die. Obviously not, he didn't. But what I am saying is that George Floyd had multiple previous criminal convictions, including a 2007 aggravated robbery where he held a gun to a woman's stomach. And he did have multiple different...
Let's not focus so much on George Floyd. It says Elon Musk drops truth bomb. Both men said I can't breathe, but George Floyd's death got wall-to-wall media coverage. 0 stories about Henry. The only conclusion is that legacy mainstream media is incredibly hatefully racist against whites. Was Josh saying something that this guy's not a Muslim?
I don't know.
Huh?
I didn't see it.
What?
I didn't see it.
Sick. What's the difference? Is that like more like a red dot Indian? I don't know. I'm asking.
I believe every cop there should be arrested. They should all be in jail. All be in jail. You can't. He wasn't resisting, right? He's dying. You have to be able. I mean, it almost goes right down the same path as George Floyd. George Floyd resisted more. This kid is obviously, if you look at him, he's dying or he's got some severe issues. Like he's not fighting, he's not giving up. And it takes 5 seconds to like pull his shirt up and say, oh, damn, he has been stabbed. He can't breathe because he's dying. He's drowning in his own blood. And to think that Derek Chauvin was charged and is in prison for what he did, every single cop there should be charged. 100%.
All right, let's go back to what he is. What's correct that he's Sikh. Is Is he does anybody know if he was illegal? I can't read that. I want to read that. What's it say? When I know what you don't have to type in the word, but I know what it is. I'm just oh, you copy and pasted it. Wow, dude, good job. Sikhs are in Sikhism, the world's 5th largest organized religion, founded by the 15th.
Punjab.
Sikh sounds like Sith, and they're bad. So, yeah, but I mean, well, is it an immigrant? Is it a legal immigrant, or are they an illegal immigrant? He was legal. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Well, then that just sucks for England that they can. I would transfer on paper to being a Sikh, and that way you can carry a dagger so you can protect yourself against other Sikhs. Why does everybody keep saying they're usually peaceful? Does that mean something? Does that mean that like? Well, yeah, I mean, I'm mostly peaceful, but I just ran that guy over for no reason. But I'm usually pretty peaceful. If you look at the hours of the day, I'm peaceful for most of it. So
like 23 hours a day, I'm peaceful, and then my wife comes home and all hell breaks loose, right? I'm joking.
I mean, I don't think it gives anybody a pass. But it definitely, to say, I guess the point is, I don't
take that out of it. Take it out of it. England is so soft that look at how bad the investigation was. Let's not play the game. Let's not play the narrative of if he was a Punjab, a Muslim, Arab. Let's just say it's two men.
You say
two men,
Punjab?
Right? That's what it is. He's Punjab. He's like, that's what it said in the description. Two men. Maybe they look at that guy. The cops maybe don't know what he is. They know he's not English, right? He's different. So maybe they're a little worried that he's a minority. And then they go, oh, okay, but here's one of our guys. He's a white kid. And they are arresting him for being racist. And then they don't even check him. Like, what? Again, you put handcuffs on somebody. That is the most intimate relationship with anybody you're ever going to contact. Once they are in custody, they are yours. You own them, right? You own them until you get them to the jail and they're done. How many times have I gotten in a foot pursuit in my career? And at the end, that dude's like, I can't breathe. I'm dying. And you're pouring water over their head. All right, man, calling an ambulance. We're going to be out here we're going to be here forever. We're not going to go to the jail and have you die in the fucking back of my car or die in the Sally port. Like, we're going to get you checked out. Somebody says I've been stabbed. You can be the most racist human being on earth. Either way, you can be a Black Panther. You can be a Ku Klux Klan member. You're racist. When I run into you and you say you're stabbed, all that stuff goes bye-bye. And I have to fix you as a human. I'm not there to let you die. I'm not there to like cast judgment that you're anti-white, anti-Black, anti-Muslim, whatever you are. You are then a human, and I have to fix you, but to make sure you don't die. And then I can go back to everything else once I'm done. So to hear the words "I'm stabbed" should trump everything and say we have to fix this guy, make sure he's okay first. Sorry, Mike.
I don't.
They
shouldn't put handcuffs on him anyways. I don't care if the guy is racist. I don't care if he says you fucking Punjab Sikh motherfucker. Like, it doesn't matter. You can't stab somebody. I mean, that's the benefit of living in America is that Henry could have had a pistol on him and ended it pretty quick. But Pride says for $5, no Sikhs fought hard for England and earned respect for their sacrifice, but they are not English. Abso-fucking-lutely not. Oh,
bring him in.
Hey, they called me a lot of things in those comments, but thank you guys for not calling me a racist. I appreciate it.
You weren't. You were very good. I want to see what Dom thinks about this.
Mike, would you ever own a slave?
This is the entertainment of the Anti-Hero broadcast. Don't forget, entertainment, everybody. I'm a paid performer on a show owned by Vince McMahon as a co-host of an Anti-Hero broadcast.
I think they should have Sean Strickland. Is there any Sikh UFC fighters?
I don't know.
Do it for Henry, Sean. Do it for Henry.
He probably doesn't like them either. He don't like English people.
Can you let's hit your I really want to touch on Brevard County like before we bring or actually we can wait for Dom if you want. I know he's in here. Is he cool with coming? Dom, let's bring him on early.
Yeah, bring him on. He's good. And then we'll play the video. Hello, sir.
Of course I'm good.
I just
audio.
Your microphone.
Can you hear
Your microphone. Your microphone. We can hear you,
coming
but
through.
it's-
What? Oh, hang on. All right, let's see.
Test. Better?
Better than us. Better than
Yeah,
us.
your thing had your reset. I sent you guys something to your Instagram that I'm 100% judging a book by its cover.
All right.
You want to do that
Is it,
first? Or I
I don't see it. You sent it to our Instagram, Dominic?
Instagram did, but it's sucker. I sent it to Sucker Free, and
oh, okay, gotcha. Let me.
No, James, I don't have regular clothes because I dress like a fucking man. You should try it too.
All right, I got it up. Bring it up, Eli.
Take a letter. Where's down?
Oh my God, is this guy retarded?
Let's not rush the crowd.
No, not that. The other one. That one. Yep.
I'm judging a book by its cover.
Yeah, that's a hard one not to judge.
Yeah, it's call for domestic. Dad's had a couple too many pops that night. Kids are crying. It's not physical so much as he's just, maybe he's down on his luck. He lost his job and wife nags and the girls at work treat him better. So he's starting shit at home. And Stewie here shows up to be the voice of mitigation.
Stewie, right. I see where you went with that. That's good.
How do you think this is going to play out in the world of law enforcement?
Yes, Stewie doesn't look very. I
thought it was maybe a special needs reach out program because he doesn't even have a gun.
100%. Whatever missing chromosome we have here. I'm so tired of this shit, and I don't think it's. I posted a kid today. He's got 2 years of service in Wichita Police Department, and he weighs as much as my calf. And I'm hesitating before I post it because I'm like, oh, he's already got 2 years on. But I'm like, no, that's not the point. Command presence is a game-changing lifesaver. Everybody talks about being trained and BJJ and this and that, but if you just look the fucking part, people second guess, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't try this cop. So I don't care if this guy's a triple black belt in BJJ. You look at him. Yeah, you look at him, you're like, it's respect. You don't respect him. So we have to stop just handing out fucking jobs like it's Oprah and you win a car. Everybody wins a car.
I couldn't agree more. And here's where I'm going to even take this a step further is perception. You're right. The initial contact perception of what we, when we see police coming or we see them, if they're fat or extremely small, immediately we're like, no good, right? No good. But we won't push physical fitness and we won't push standard, but we'll push a college degree. Have you ever watched a cop get out of a car to come to your house and go, man, I hope this guy's got a fucking master's degree. Man, I hope this guy's got an associate's degree in criminal justice when he gets up here. 911, somebody's breaking in my car. There's 3 guys. I hope this guy coming has a PhD. Maybe he's a doctor. Like we've never thought that, right? Never have we worried. But education is pushed so heavy in law enforcement that you have to go all these classes and get all this. But physical fitness and appearance and it's the it factor. We're not stupid. You can look at somebody and go, I don't want to fuck with that guy, right? I don't want nothing to do with that guy. That guy, I'm not gonna mess with him. You're right. That's the initial part of cop work, professionalism, standards. Start with appearance, and I don't know how we don't enforce that more. And that's appearance by size. That's appearance by a lot of things. But
that's
I
don't understand. Everybody keeps saying, like every time I post a comment or photo of somebody who looks physically inept, you get people in the comment section. Well, they got the taser, don't they? They could shoot them, don't they? That's exactly the point. And so many people ass backwardsly defend. Well, it's the subject who dictates the use of force. So if a 110-pound man shows up on scene dealing with 6 feet tall, 210-pound guy, well, it's the subject who he better not resist. Otherwise, the cop can escalate. But why wouldn't you want? Okay, I want to mitigate all potential risks. So instead of having to put a smaller person on the street who can use the tools on their belt as an equalizer, I would rather hire someone who they have the ability to go to their tools on their belt less frequently. they don't need to as much. It's the same reason with like the taser. I'm not a fan of the taser, but if you look at cases that we've seen, like with the baseball bat shooting, well, how much trouble or public perception do you think that department is in where the public goes, wait a second, there's this thing called the taser. You don't have it, and that could have ended this. So you shot. That's the whole fucking thing right there.
Yeah,
so I don't get why we don't do the same thing.
We don't go. Your whole department is tiny, small men on Ozempic or 300 guys who can't move. Like you don't. That why don't? Why doesn't anybody say that?
I love the fucking pocket cops thing, dude. I cannot get enough of that. That needs to be its own page at this point, Dominic.
It is. There's a pocket cop page, and I got tired of posting it on my shit because I'm tired of it. So I created pocket cops on Instagram and Facebook. But I'm like, at the same time, it doesn't get the awareness because it's a new page. But when I put up the other day, I put up a guy who I don't know if he works for the jail, but he's sworn in, and I saw it sworn in on the county's page. The man has got to be about 6'3", 500 pounds. And unless he's a professional NFL lineman or he's a WWE wrestler, I don't care how physically strong you are. The day that you walk up a flight of stairs now and have a heart attack and the taxpayers pay for your retirement, that's a problem to me. If I'm locked in a jail and I got 100 inmates to me and I'm getting tuned up and you can't get there fast enough because you're a fat piece of shit, that's a problem. So I put out there, and I don't. Some people get it clearly, because a lot don't. I do bully and I shame and I publicly embarrass because I want somebody to go, fuck Izzo. He's an asshole. He's a piece of shit. Yeah, and then they may step up their game just to show me. And that's
I think we'll go into it later, but I think that that cops are like worse at, I mean, we talked about it a million times, but they are the worst at fucking taking any type of criticism. Yeah. Mike, what do you think about this? Suffer fan said, if you have a PhD or a master's, you are likely also to be fit.
What?
That's what the comment. I think they're arguing like a discipline, like you're probably a disciplined person, but I know plenty of people.
The same when the standards for college have been lowered and shit. Fuck, I couldn't graduate college today with those standards.
Every person at my agency that has a fucking PhD or degree or master's degree is not fit. Like, I don't know where that stretch came from, but again, what does that do? Unless it's a specialized area where I want a forensics expert to work at the sheriff's office in DNA or like all that stuff. I've never in my life to this day thought I'm going to call for help, and I hope the person coming had got a degree in political science or history or some even criminal justice. All it is classes about the law. All you have to do is study case law. All you have to do is study what the current events are and keep up with the Fourth Amendment and the First Amendment and the Second Amendment and keep up with that stuff. I'd rather have guys that have focused on training, tactics, building clearing, defensive tactics, shooting. All those things are way more important to me. Now, if you're going to start a special unit that deals with maybe children or SVU, yeah, I'd like to see those people get some more education in those type of interactions. But your basic street cop, never in a million years will I think, I hope this guy coming to save me when I'm pinned under a car or I got a guy beating me up. I hope he has a degree. Never once, never will.
Of course, I'll one up you. Yeah, all those things are important, training tactics, all that kind of stuff. But you and your wife start having an argument, and the neighbor thinks you're a little bit too loud, and they call 911, and a 22-year-old kid with a college degree shows up on your doorstep. How much life experience do you think they have to understand? Excuse me, we're in our late 40s and 50s, and I'm sorry, Joe, maybe your early 40s, late 30s. And what do you know about life? What? How can they even remotely connect with you? So I don't know.
Well, here, let's go back to this guy. This guy here, he's the suffer. Yeah, that one, because he's obviously defending a certain group of people, very specific group of people, his people. So to him, this is hitting his people, and he knows that those 5, 6, whatever they are. So there's an anomaly, and there's
but he's saying 80%. What if he comes from a town of like?
Well, yeah, 80% of my colleagues that have masters. Okay, so is that 5? Is it 3? Is it 4? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like,
well, what if he works at a fucking CrossFit gym? Then everybody's going to be fucking fit.
I mean, but I'm saying like to say overwhelming. I don't know. Like I said, all I have is 23 years.
80% is a high number, Mike. I'm not arguing with you. That's a very high number to say all of your colleagues that have master's degrees are physically fit. Well, that means if out of all your colleagues, if 3 of them have master's degree and
don't try to do math,
2 of them are physically fit, that's the majority of your colleagues.
Reason, but that just said you get a master's degree in fucking gender studies versus a master's degree in business or law. I think they're going to be 2 different qualities of people.
Definitely appreciate the input though, Suffer Fan. I don't think we've seen you comment. So, and another guy, Eric Mayo, says look into LMPD Nathan Scott's. Not sure what that is, but and then Pride says
I'm cool with like the discipline, the mental discipline it takes to get a degree. I'm cool with, but what do we do in law enforcement? We get the easiest, fastest online degree to check a box that says we have a college degree. I would rather see that same person, if they're going to spend 2 years getting I'd rather see them get trained highly in something they can teach the rest of the agency, like firearms, defensive tactics, de-escalation. I mock the word, but there's ways to teach better control of all those things.
Nobody needed de-escalation. You know who the best candidates for de-escalation were? You hire people from the restaurant industry, retail, or car sales. That's all de-escalation. I came from the bartending nightclub industry before I became a cop. And it didn't matter how many people were assholes to me. If John Chooch in his tight black shirt came to the bar with his broad and he was whistling at me, treating me like a piece of shit, all this kind of crap, I still wanted his money. I had to know how to talk to him and make him look like a fucking god in front of her eyes so I would get a bigger tip. I ate the shit. De-escalation comes from the businesses where people are they know where to talk to people. Look, so college doesn't teach it. That's why you need an older quality of people who go through life. Like I got hired at 26. I got my ass kicked in the real world, knew what it was like to struggle to pay bills. It was like to eat shit in retail, nightclub industry, all this crap. And then I became a cop. Talking to people was easy. I didn't go to college. So
to me, those skills are more important than any college degree.
100%.
I'm sorry.
You can't talk to me in handcuffs.
And I think we're on the backside of the college degree. I think that ran its course, that there became that everybody needed a degree. They made it mandatory. They made it so mandatory. They'd say you're good enough to be a sergeant, but post promotion, you have 3 years to now go get your degree to justify your promotion to sergeant. It's like, if I don't need it beforehand, what would I need to do? And now I'm in charge of a whole group of people. I'm a supervisor. And instead of focusing on being a good supervisor and being up on case law, use of force, the things we need to worry about, I need to go get a basket weaving degree to prove to you that I'm quality of I'm a good supervisor, instead of going, hey man, this guy's troops love him. He's doing a great job. He managed critical incidents well. He actually went to firearms instructor. He went to active shooter instructor. Went to something else. But no, you're going to send you back to class to learn algebra and 16th century art because you need to get a degree to prove that you're a good cop. It's never gonna win the argument with me, or I'm just going to say we'll agree to disagree.
Did you get passed up at all, Mike, from anybody like with a degree? I know you were a corporal, but.
I didn't. I really never took it serious. The first time I passed the sergeant's exam, I got promoted.
Oh,
the only time I passed it. I took it like 3 times, kind of just when I was earlier in my career. I went years and years without taking it, and then I took it in 2021, passed it, and got promoted that year. That was the first time, no degree.
Well, so can we get on with the roast of Brevard County and Wayne Ivey?
Sure. I want to preface this because Dominic makes a good point, and sometimes I disagree. I do enjoy sometimes the talking smack to the bad guys. It can go too far, and I understand Dominic's argument about due process. You're convicting people in the public, but there's a way to say at least we arrested this person. But when you're sheriff, I talked about this, I think a little bit to you, Ty, and last night on my live, you're the sheriff, you have to oversee everybody, right? So being out on critical incidents is kind of rough because who investigates you in the event that something bad happens? But this is a video of Sheriff Wayne Ivey from Brevard County who loves the camera. There's not a camera.
You won't be out on critical incidents anytime between 1 and 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. Let's just make that clear. We don't want the public to think as Sheriff Dilks, you're going to be out there in a shooting call.
No. Unless I have a late arrest. If I have a late arrest, I'm going to have to call in that I have a late arrest. But one of the things is the sheriff has to oversee all operations. I'll play this video. I'll let everybody make the decision on if you think this was the camera a factor in what went down. So this is Brevard County Sheriff's Office. They posted this on their own page.
If he refuses to comply, let's not rush the car and let's use the dog if we need to or if he fails.
Step out of the car, James, with your hands up, or you're going to get bit. This is your last warning. Step out of the car, you're going to get dog bit. Come out to us with your hands up.
Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Step out!
That is the sheriff of Brevard County, Wayne Ivey, right there.
No, that's him. I thought it was
Step out of the car!
What's that?
No, the guy to the right is.
Yeah,
The guy with the grenade attack. Okay.
This is Wayne Ivey. This is the sheriff right here. Okay.
No, the guy to the right.
Step out of the car! Hands up!
I'm down. I'm down.
We'll take you back again. And I want you guys
Can I
to
ask a couple of questions?
Go ahead.
This was a felony stop, correct?
the tactics are horrible.
Yeah,
This
why
is
is there
a
a
felony.
dog
Oh,
out
okay,
there?
all right, we're in agreement that I don't know what the fuck you would be that flat out in the open on a felony stop with your dog.
And that's to go back to training. Now your sheriff is there, and I'm going to catch hell. This is one county away from me. I'm obviously losing all support from Brevard County or Wayne Ivey, but I stand on business. I stand on my beliefs. I'm not going to suck off some other sheriff for support. It's not going to happen. The tactics are horrible. A felony stop, you should be behind the pillars of the car, at the rear of the car, that you're in your neck, so that way there's metal between you and the bad guy. That's my first problem. So this is some altered version of a felony stop. They have no cover. You're telling a guy to get out of the car with his hands up.
I know.
I talked about this. How do you? I want you to go. I want you to go out to your car, everybody watching, and get out of your car from a seated position without using your hands. It's not going to be easy. You're going to probably grab the door. The moment he appears, even if you argue that he's not compliant right away, there's a billion cops, a dog barking. I'm not sticking up for criminals. That's fucking scary. If that was me sitting in that car, I'd be fucking scared to death to get bit by that dog. The moment he appears to be complying the most, which is he finally gets to a standing position with an attempt to walk away from the car, the dog bites him.
Can I ask you a
That
question?
is bad.
Can you explain? Can either one of you guys explain what auditory exclusion is?
Yeah, you can't hear. You're just fucking zoned out because everything that's going on, you absolutely lose all ability to hear.
Is it caused under high stress circumstances?
Absolutely.
Oh, does that and it affects cops, right?
Yes, all the time. We use that all the time.
Can it affect human beings too on traffic stops and being pulled over with guns pointed at them?
Yes. If you want me to, you know what? That only thing that guy heard, a fucking dog barking. He didn't hear anything else. He didn't hear commands. He didn't hear get out of the car. He didn't hear put your hands up. He heard dog barking. This is gonna fucking hurt really bad.
And then you know how blacks feel about the black community feels about dogs, right?
Yeah, no, they're not a fan.
You know, if you ever bring a dog around black people, they're fucking terrified of them. So
Well, I think
this guy's scared shitless.
I think Mike, I mean, you nailed it right off the get-go before we even watched the video. This dog bite was going to happen because
you heard the first transmission. I'm gonna go back. I want you to hear the first transmission.
Camera through there. That was a maybe not even felony stop criteria.
Listen to the first thing.
Comply. 10-4. If he refuses to comply, let's not rush the car and let's use the dog if we need to or if he.
I mean, that seems.
Yeah,
I'm not knocking these guys, man, but that seems very specific.
You should be knocking them.
Well,
you know, because here's the sheriff.
You have to use the dog, but it's kind of like we're going to use the dog.
How many guys out there for both, as Brevard County and Polk County, are amazing fucking deputies, awesome street cops doing the job, and their camera whore sheriff, including that other one from fucking Lee County, is putting these people's lives at risk, right? And how many of these cops, the new ones, or maybe the ones who are starting to gravitate over towards, wow, look at all this attention sheriff is getting, how many of them are going to fall victim to the limelight of the camera, and they may do something stupid on camera thinking that, well, sheriff loves this, I'm going to get escalated, elevated, and it's going to put them in hot water. These are two of the stupidest, all three of them are some of the most absolutely shit sheriffs right now, and it's all Florida from people who love fucking law enforcement until they start turning on them.
Well, and forgive me, I'm not a tactics guy, and I don't really like dissecting tactics too much because I'm not the best tactical dude out there, but I've never seen less lethal options on a felony stop ever. It's a felony stop.
This was a long time.
It's a felony stop because you're assuming there's going to be no less.
At the felony stop out of the gate, you would never pull your car that close anyway. You would leave like a lot of length. You know, you knew. I think this guy had a warrant. Like that was the stop. They knew he had a felony warrant. But I understand that we have to do these things. And I think this goes with Dominic's entire platform of we have to use force, and it's going to look really ugly. But when we do it like this, it gives the public the option to go, or the view to go, look what they're doing all the time. That looks like all the time. Do you believe like public doesn't think Brevard County dog bite and they see this and go, "Bet, man, I wonder if they're all that bad." Like, are they all that bad? And
Did you
then
see the comments on the video?
Oh, yeah, it was bad. Well, there was 50-50. There's a lot of people that support Wayne Ivey because they think it's great what he's doing. Is it because he's a black male? And there's a bunch of white people saying,
yes, yes, it is.
And it's unfortunate if that's the case, because this is where, I've been called racist because of my TikTok had a rap video in the background of rap lyrics. But this is where this is the dumbest thing ever, because I understand the black culture. He is terrified of that dog. All he hears is the dog. You as a cop have to understand what you just said, which is black people do not like dogs. That kid is trying to focus on, I don't want this dog to bite me. And I've got one dude screaming at me. I got a dog barking. I got all this. He was told to get out of the car. He was getting out of the car. If you thought he was that dangerous, do you run up and bite him and let the dog get shot? Or do you let him get out, have him do the spin-a-rooney, hands up, lift your shirt, all the stuff that usually goes with a felony stop, which is that. I don't like it, man. I don't like this.
Here, I shouted his mouth off, too, shouting commands. He had one person had command. And all of a sudden now Wayne's got to start barking orders as well, too. It's all for the camera is going to do more damage than good.
The normal people of Brevard that have a brain say there's not a camera Wayne Ivey doesn't love, and all he wants to do is get on camera. And that incident, and there was a rumor, I don't know it to be true, that he was the one that actually yelled for the guy to release the dog. And if that's the case, and it's out of protocol, but your sheriff yells to do
Holy
it.
Shit, you're telling
really
the canine handler to release the dog? A canine
I don't know
handler
that to be true. So remember, I don't know but I was told.
Edited clip that was edited. So there's got to be Brevard have body cameras.
No, they don't.
What does that tell you? How is that not the biggest problem right now in America, where you have all this money going, all this different technology, all this shit, but you have two sheriffs who refuse to put body cameras on their officers? It's insane. So if that's the case and that's what happened, what happens when we don't see it? What is going on that we do not see every single day in Brevard?
Police work is going on, which we do not see.
Police work. It makes the good shit impossible to defend when you have, and it's like I defended it vehemently for years. There's no racism in law enforcement. But you put up that video and you look at how many people are repeatedly saying in the comments they're tired, they're fatigued, and we know what that's the hashtag is for. So if you're going to see your police punish blacks left and right, you're going to be catering to the mob. How much more does that trickle into the narcissism and ego of a cop going up? We got another black guy here today. Let's see what we're going to do. It's going to make sheriff proud.
I'll never claim to be the smartest guy anywhere. I have common sense, and I have that gut feeling or that burn where I go, ugh. I can tell you I would not have wanted to witness that. I would have felt sick witnessing that. And then if I had witnessed it, the last thing I would tell them to do is, hey, why don't you whip this up and throw it out on the internet? And they did all that. And then they're standing behind it as if it's okay. And that is where, man, I sent it to a canine handler that's handled canine his whole life. And he said, I wouldn't post that video for a magnitude of reasons, including the tactics, the bite. It's just a bad video all around.
Well, I mean, police dogs, just look at the imagery of the 1960s when there was simple unrest and the cops were using dogs for resisting people. It just didn't look good. I really don't know the use of force spectrum when it comes to the canine. I'm assuming it's just like anything, as long as they're actively resisting in some way. But most canine that I know of only use it for felonies, so they won't bite for anything less than a felony. And I don't know if that's law or if that's just most policies, but it looks fucking awful to bite someone that's not running. I mean, I'd rather them rip them out of the car.
But they want to. We're men, right? I will not deny. I loved the next day at roll call after you went hands on, and I loved how everybody embellished the stories, crank stuff up, all this shit. You don't think the canine handlers? You think canine handlers are literally going, no, I hope my dog never bites anyone. They are themselves are chomping at the bit to let the dog go bite someone.
I mean, especially if you're a new canine handler, you're looking for that first bite. That's the thing. That is a true thing. You are not one of the boys until you have your first legitimate bite, not a bullshit bite, a legitimate bite. You are now a canine handler. That's just how it is.
How do you
And I'm cool with that. And I want them to be motivated, but you don't do it like this. I would not want to be. I'm just telling you, I wouldn't want to be at that scene. I wouldn't want to come home, say it all the time. Would I want to show that to my grandkids and go, look at this first bite I got? I mean, I'm not. He might be a great cop. I just wouldn't want that one to be the one where I go, he was getting out of the car. Like, even if it's slow, like you got to factor all that stuff in that we talked about. And
well, the subject shouldn't have resisted. The subject should have complied. Where was the call? What southern state just last month? Black guy is talking shit on the street to guys who are serving a warrant. They finally have enough of his mouth cross the street. Dog bites him. He goes to bite the dog. It's like, at what point? Every canine I've been around, I don't go around them. I do not want your 110-pound fucking German Shepherd. I don't care if I'm wearing the same uniform biting me. I can't imagine if I was a cop and I was terrified of the guy's dogs. I had two of them. 2 dogs. I don't want to get your fucking dog away from me. I can't imagine what a citizen feels like.
I know I would have been a good supervisor. I chose not to be one, and you guys might laugh, but when I finally learned that time was on my side, you are not in control in anything you do, whether you're on the mats, a fist fight. Once you learn that if you learn to utilize time on your side, you will win. And so the uses of force that I used to get into as a new cop, if I was a sergeant on scene, yeah, first off, I'm not going to have a sheriff come and running his fucking propaganda show on my fucking call. That's not going to happen because it's my fucking ass. It's the other deputy's ass. But I have all the time in the world. That guy's going to get out of the car, especially when I'm a leader where I tell the deputy, I'm not going to let this guy fucking make a buffoon out of you. He's getting out. He's getting out.
He's a passenger. Nobody can't drive away.
We have all the time in the world. All those bullshit calls on the board. Guess what? We'll fucking call him and say, if you want us, we'll come later. But I mean,
what's the outside of that, though? You're a canine handler or whatever, you're first on scene, and all of a sudden your sheriffs are barking orders and you disobey them. What happens to your career?
And I think that's why Wayne Ivey has probably got some of the underlying issues that aren't public, that he's not the best leader I've heard. Is that if a sheriff's coming, that's cool, but a sheriff has to understand, my presence is going to make these guys nervous. I have to ensure these guys through conversation and me being me, that if Sheriff Dilks pulls up behind us in his black Tahoe, he's there to let us run the show. A humble guy that's gonna go, guys, I haven't done this in like fucking 7 years. Like, you guys know what you're doing. I'm just
how much more danger is it? How much more danger is it for Sheriff Dilks to show up on scene where the guys all of a sudden now, I got a peacock, I got to impress. I got to make sure I do everything right.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
Guess what? But if you've done the job and you know you do the job well and you've already done it well, you don't mind sitting back and watching your guys operate, which is what, if he's going to go out and do something, that's what it should be. Because you're absolutely right. The sheriff jumps out of the car, starts screaming with his gun out, and everybody's we got to press the boss. The boss is here. He wants this beat. You can't tell me there wasn't any pep talk before that going, hey, man, the camera crew's out. Let's get at it. Let's get after him. Let's do some crazy shit. And that's fine if you're going to do it within the scope of the law. But you can't send a dog on somebody because there's a camera crew and a sheriff standing by. And if that would be, and that's still negligent and highly illegal, but if it's either that or that's what they do all the time. If they bite people like that all the time, very scary if that's the way they deploy their dog every time. For a guy getting out of the car,
let's use the dog if we need.
You're good. I'm just playing it.
I want to just see it again. I mean,
no, that's a guy with his pistol drawn.
First off,
where's his muzzle pointed? Down and
it looks like, I can't say for sure. I can't say, so I'm not even going to say where I think it's probably pointing. I just want to point out, I've never seen a ginger with a mullet before.
Yeah.
This guy, I saw his picture on the post, and Mike was making great points, and you were making great points in the Facebook. I texted Mike. I'm like, I just can't stand looking at this fucking ginger dude who stands there like this, like an enforcer, while Wayne Ivey's fat ass is like, bah, 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 and this guy's just standing there stoic. Like, I'm like, I know for a fact I'm the type of cop that I would see him and be like, yo, me and you aren't going to get along. You take this job too fucking serious. You ain't telling him no. He's got a big ass ego. I guarantee you he writes 1 million tickets, and he got picked on when he was a kid. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, and he's going to slip from grace the second he does something that puts the sheriff in a compromising position. And not to mention, anybody's ever worked for somebody like Wayne Ivey knows when you get a little bit more camera time than he does, oh shit, your career's over.
I just can't get over the fight, man. Like he's getting out of the car. I can't get.
Oh yeah, I think we focused on the whole point that you brought up, Mike, was great. We didn't even focus on the fact that they told a guy to get out of the car not long enough. We covered it for a couple minutes. They told a guy to get out of the car, and then you sent the dog on him. How is this? How is Ben Crump not on this? Does the guy have to die? And I don't want Ben Crump on it. I don't want any of these cops to get in trouble. I'm just saying I don't understand life. Like when
you do want these cops to get in trouble because if they were, what are they doing off camera? What are they doing?
I honestly think they're probably not as retarded as if a camera's rolling on them.
You know what?
I honestly think
Bottom
they're more
line is,
retarded.
I don't care if this guy had a warrant for fucking murder. It's still, and it is the George Floyd argument, right? Where I don't care what George Floyd did in 2002. On that scene, yesterday's victim can be tomorrow's offender and vice versa. This guy was complying. He deserves his day in court. If you choose to punish him on the street as a cop, you are just as much as a shitbag as the person you are arresting. And not to mention the fact, the public will always have that 2-3 beats behind the movement kind of resisting to resist the police. In other words, meaning no, I can't win. I can't win. There's more than me. They're armed, blah, blah, blah. And they're not good. It's not going to be a fair fight. So you're taking advantage of that. You're a domestic terrorist.
Your level of force does not change based on the crime. Your tactics might change based on the level of the crime. If this guy's got a warrant for child support, something stupid, or if he's got a warrant for murder, you're going to have two different tactical approaches. But your application of force does not go, well, he's wanted for murder, we can bite him, and he's wanted for child support, we can only tase him. Your application of force depends on the circumstances of the arrest. Your tactics prior to the application of the force, yes, that changes based on, and if this guy was wanted for something dangerous, again, where's your cover? Why are you right up on his car? He's dark tinted windows. He could have a fucking Draco right in his hands. And as soon as he turns around and smokes you all, he could have shot every one of them if he had any type of rifle when he popped out. They're all right up on him. So your tactics sucked from the rip. And then he didn't get out fast enough is what they're trying to say. And then they bite him.
This does too now? This would be showcased around where people go, I'm sorry. Like if I lived in this county and I was black, I would yell out the window, I am not fucking moving. My hands will stay glued to the dashboard. I am not moving whatsoever. So
that dog is
to anybody. You see people get shot, see people get beaten, see people bit. Like, you guys can't get your fucking orders. I am not moving. I wouldn't say shit. You just have my hands on the dashboard. You can come to me.
Yeah. All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. We got to hit a quick commercial break.
Later.
Dominic, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
I see you.
All right, we'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
Over a century ago in 1910, the Flexner Report, funded by John D. Rockefeller and the Carnegie Foundation, re-engineered medical education from a holistic, whole-body approach, which appropriately treated the body as an interconnected system, to a compartmentalized approach under the guise of specialized medicine. They shut down or consolidated medical schools, marginalized naturopathic, homeopathic, and chiropractic medicine, replacing them with symptom management and synthetic drugs. Allopathy is a marketing strategy rooted in fear and manipulated science. This philosophy carried into veterinary medicine, resulting in over-vaccination, unnecessary surgeries, and manufactured food, just like they did for people. They call it care, but it's predatory and based in profitability. The truth? Toxicity, compromised immunity, and chronic inflammation. They're not fate. They're engineered. And so is your power to undo them. We built 3 targeted formulas to return the body to homeostasis, for pets and people. To detox, defend, and restore. We are the correction to decades of corruption. We are vengeance.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This show is also brought to you by Crave. Go to trycrave.com. Use promo code ANTIHERO15. Save 15% on your creatine. It is 2026. You need to be using creatine not only for your physical fitness, but your cognitive function. It can give you 30% more strength, 30% more muscle mass, and they have a free money-back guarantee. So if you don't like it, they will give you your money back, but I guarantee you're going to love it. Creatine comes in gummies now. You don't have to take the powder anymore, and Crave so far is the best tasting one, and we've tried a couple. And we can also guarantee that they have creatine in their gummies. So go to trycrave.com. Use promo code ANTIHERO15. Save 15%. And Goon Tape.
Go to goontape.com. Use code ANTIHERO15 for 15% off. The best tape you will ever buy. Goon Tape is for when the work gets wet. It's moisture wicking technology made right here in the United States of America. It comes in green. It comes in black. So go to goontape.com. Use code ANTIHERO15 for 15% off. You'll love it. We've sold them out before, so sell them out again. If that code does not work, email them and they will refund you because they are real American company.
I think I'm pretty sure I haven't heard any bad feedback. I think they got that whole promo code thing worked out. So
beautiful. Go buy your Goon Tape.
You guys in the fucking comments, bro, they were fucking killing me. I'm going to bring on Ryan. I don't think Ryan has to worry about anything in the comments compared to what other people go through. So, Ryan.
Hey.
Can you
Good
hear
morning,
both of us?
comrades?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Mike, can you talk?
Yes.
Look at that. First try.
Brilliant.
Well, lots happened throughout the week, man. Today, I don't know what you saw. We covered Charlton Strickland criticizing he put out a reel of him beating up an AI transgender man, which I think was probably the reason why. But he also is openly criticizing Israel and AIPAC, and he is now not allowed to even attend the UFC fight at the White House. We covered that, and we also covered the Henry Nowick case that happened last year, but I think the body cam just broke, where he was stabbed by a Sikh fellow who was allowed to carry an 8-inch dagger based on the religion. And because Henry was racist, he was, according to this fellow, he stabbed Henry and killed him while police handcuffed him. As Henry was saying, "I can't breathe." And police were like, yeah. Now a white guy dies in police custody. I don't see an uproar. So those are the things we covered. You are more than welcome to give your opinion on any of those. We also just covered a fat sheriff that bit a black man with a dog for no reason. So,
wow.
I know it's a lot. It's like I can see Ryan like, man, I can go to town on these topics.
Yeah, I think the first one I'll name is that far right sort of fascists and Nazis may be anti-Israel because they are also anti-Jewish, and they are not comrades of mine, and they are not comrades of the Free Palestine decolonization, liberation movement. So I am not in community with Sean Strickland, even though, we may agree on Israel, for example, or the Zionist occupation of Palestine.
Okay. I'm not expecting you to hold a white man in high regard at all, but I appreciate your
I have an interesting topic that Ryan, I think you're going to like this.
Well, just real quick, I am wearing a hat that says "Freedom for Palestine" in the Irish language. So whiteness is a thing that we have to name and talk about as white-bodied people, and you don't have to be a bootlicker.
Well, what is that? What is it? Hold on, I think I'm missing the point. What's the point of Free Palestine? And are you just saying like you're Irish? I don't think I probably could have guessed that if I actually did, but you're Irish heritage. Yeah.
I'm
So
disconnected from a lot of my lineage, but the one that I am certain of is Irish. Yes.
Does disconnected mean is that a choice by you?
That really hasn't been stewarded for me from like my elders and the generations before me. I don't really know my family tree necessarily. Don't know my family's immigration story.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if disconnected was a way to say like you disagree with your heritage. So
No, I actually identify most by the Irish heritage, which is the first land to be colonized by the British. So if we choose to be, we can be linked in solidarity with all colonized people around the world. There's a good story about Mexican and Irish solidarity called Batallón de San Patricio, St. Patrick's Battalion. And this was Irish and Irish American folks that defected from the United States and fought with Mexico in the Mexican-American War. There's other examples of Irish solidarity around the world. But for example, the link with Palestine is the Black and Tans, which were the brutal police force from the British that were occupying Ireland, left Ireland and went directly to Palestine.
All right, I'm going to give the floor to Mike in 1 second. I'm just going to read this before I forget. Piglet with $5. Ryan wants to be anti-fascist, but he wants to control the way you speak. What's more fascist than that?
Yeah, I'm not a fascist. I'm a communist. Communists are the only anti-fascist entities that exist. Liberals have always partnered with fascists to, condemn communists. And, I invite you to cite a specific example where I've wanted to censor folks' speech. I will invite us to evolve our language, which is pretty common.
All right, Mike, what were you going to ask, Ryan?
We agree on a lot of things lately, and I don't know if that's good or bad. Florida's trying to eliminate property taxes. So I thought this was interesting. I was listening to Ron DeSantis talk about the elimination of property tax, which I know you talk about being a peasant, landless owner. That would probably start the process in one way. I know you don't agree. You don't think the land belongs to us because we stole the land from other people. But let's let that part go. Let's just say we are going to own our land. Here's what I was thinking, and I want to see if you agree with me on this. Do you think if we're going to lower property taxes, and I don't think that people are ever going to benefit. We're going to go property taxes are lower. My theory is if we dump the property taxes, the banks will find a way to increase your mortgage rates. And that's where my head goes with this. If I told Johnny Q Public, we're going to make your homestead exemption $150,000, then $250,000, and eventually you're never going to pay taxes again. Do you think that the big 1% is going to allow people to really keep their own money? Or do you look at that as a way to go, well, if their property taxes are lower, they can pay more on a mortgage rate? What's your thoughts on that?
Question, Mike, do you mean that they're going to raise mortgage rates in the future, or are you going to raise locked in?
Florida's plan right now is they're going to eliminate property taxes on this next ballot, but it can't happen overnight because then the cities and the municipalities and counties have to find another way. So what they're going to do is right now you usually get a standard like $50,000 homestead if you have been in your house so long. They're going to go, it's $150 next year, it's $250 the year after, and eventually they're going to roll it in where now you have zero property taxes. That to me sounds so really cool, except one, where are they going to get the money to fund all these municipalities? Two, though, it's kind of like if you watch the movie The Drop, okay, and this guy was indebted to James Gandolfini, who was the main character in that, and he owed him like $17,000, and he eventually won a jackpot to pay off that debt. But he killed him because it was like, I don't want him to pay off this debt. I have to have that control and power as the mafia, that I have power over somebody who owes me the money. My thought on this is they're never going to go, here you guys go, here's your land, you own it, we're not going to take any more of your money. I think this is an opportunity for big 1% America to go, well, your mortgage rates are 7%. Now it's 7.5%. Guess what they can afford? They can afford another $500 or $600 a month because they're not paying the property taxes. That's just my little conspiracy I've been kicking around in my head. And I know you and I agree with the big banks and the fact that we'll never, I'm going out now. See what happens?
Yeah. I'm locked in, but I'm locked in with my interest rate. So you're saying any interest rates after this are going to go up forward. Because I'm protected. So I'm like, well, fuck you. My interest rate's good.
I'm at 2.75, but I took a screenshot because me and Joanna had a pretty hot debate about it last night. And I took a screenshot of the current mortgage rates, 6.6, 6.5 years, what those mortgage rates are when people are saving $6,000 a year on property taxes here in Florida, probably more other places. What do you think about that?
I think it's a great question. And as a landless rent peasant, I do have a limited scope of knowledge in this sort of topic. What I will am curious about is how do the corporations and the landlords stand to benefit from this legislation?
So what they're doing is, okay, good question. They are making it for rooted people. So if you live out of the state and you buy places to rent, you're not going to get that exemption. It's going to be for people who actually live in the county. So I've been here. In order to get a homestead, I think you need 7 years in your house to get the full homestead. So if you buy up places to rent, you're still going to pay taxes, and businesses are still going to pay business taxes on their business, but you're not the homeowner. But that's my thing is like, well, the bank's not going to benefit because all the places they bought up to rent, they're still going to have to pay property taxes on that. So where does the bank benefit? Bank benefits by going, oh, look at this guy. He bought a house. He lives in Florida. Let's raise that mortgage rate a little bit. Because you know what? Before the mortgage was going to be $2,500, but now it's only going to be $1,900 because there's no property tax. That means he can afford more money on rent, or he can afford more money on a mortgage. So let's raise the mortgage rate. So that's how it's going to work. You have to be homesteaded, and then they're going to eventually lead to no property tax. But then what are they going to tax? They might tax your goods a little more. And then in your head, you go, and this is where I'm going with it. So I knew I was paying $6,000 a year in property tax. Now it's gone. Man, I saved $6,000 this year. But there's a 2 cent on my eggs. There's 2 cents on my gas. There's 2 cents over here. And over the year, do I end up actually spending more than $6,000 on taxes that I don't even consider because I need gas, I need food. I'm gonna live normal, and that's where I think it's a scam. I think it's a scam. Probably gonna get a lot of hate for saying that, but I think it's a scam.
Yeah, best of luck with this legislation. I think this is where the commodification of housing is problematic and unethical. I'll say, I don't think you have necessarily like an investment property. This is a land that you live in. And I think that is, important so that these absentee landlords and corporations can't benefit. Will they probably find a loophole, or was there a loophole actually for them in there? Could be at some point, or through when legislation goes through the different processes, there's amendments to the bills that are offered. So I think that's going to be something important to look at. But you did also bring up something that's important is like, well, property taxes generate revenue for municipal services. And that's the way the education system has achieved so much disparities, because the schools that are in high property value regions and have revenue, right, can afford upgrades in their classrooms and technologies and teachers, right? And then communities that are surviving engineered inequality that don't have that same tax revenue from the property taxes, this is where their schools are dilapidated and falling apart.
That's what I thought about. I thought about like that money, and it's an argument to go on for hours, because my wife said, well, then they need to budget better. And I agree. At the end of the day, you should budget better. And if we're wasting, if a municipality is wasting enough money that we eliminate property tax and they can still function, we were getting scammed, right? They were scammed. We were getting scammed. But in the name of safety or public resources, school teachers, all very important. It's like you're just going to pull the plug on millions and millions of dollars of property tax. And it sounds cool to say, like Moon just said, you own, guess what? You own your land now. You don't pay that $6,000 tax. Okay, cool. I own this piece of dirt now. Awesome. Was it better to pay $6,000 property tax, or now have the taxes for all these other goods exceeded that $6,000? I'm actually paying $8,000 a year in taxes, but because I own this land, it's okay now. So do we really own that? I'll go with you on this one. Do we really own the land? Can you put a fence up out back, or do you have to get a permit? Do you really own your land? Can you put an addition on your house? No, you got to get a permit. Do you own your land ever? Do you really ever own it? I don't think you do.
Like a lot of people can't even collect rainwater, right, on their own land. So I think this is a really interesting conversation. And, I think we both have gray in our beards, so we both might remember the Poltergeist movie from the 80s that we grew up on. Yeah. And you remember the lesson from that, right? Is don't
Indian
build your
burial
house. don't build your house on top of Indian burial grounds, right? So I
Well,
think there
Pet
is this
Cemetery too, right?
there's this question that we need to really talk about more about what is the ethics of not only private property, but private property on colonized land. As you see, there's these auctions going on about the West Bank in occupied Palestine for property investments over there. So something to look at. And I do want to kind of just bring out this one sort of thing about this homestead, right? And the homestead is a curious like phenomenon that's part of like this American exceptionalism, kind of manifest destiny, like pioneer sort of trailblazer, the mythology that we have. And I think that's an interesting sort of dynamic. And the left version of the homestead is the commune, where you would have interlocking, intersecting communities of mutual aid and mutual support without, big brother necessarily government sticking their nose in your business. So, we have similar sort of visions for the future and visions of living in right relationship in community and with the environment. And I'll gently invite the homestead advocate to look more at communes and mutual aid.
I like it. Yeah. I like I said, I knew being the land and all that is like, they tell us now we're going to own it, but you never own it. You can make that argument all day that you own your land now because you don't pay property taxes, but you're really not free to do anything on your land. You still have to get the government's permission to do most things.
To build a fence.
Yeah.
Well, and the interstate system and eminent domain demolished people's houses and residences with total good to go from the state, and actually intended to disrupt poor communities and pollute.
Well, I mean, I know you could care less about landowners or people's, but can you imagine if you were a homeowner and you bought this house in the 1980s? It was a nice piece of land. You worked very hard for it. You were living the American dream, and they decided that they were going to build an interstate right in front of your house. And you're like, I didn't sign up for that when I built this. And it's almost like that's not even eminent domain. That's just like, hey, we're putting an interstate 40 yards from your house. So now, sorry.
But if they need that property, they'll take it. But if they need the property, they'll take it.
Well, like, why? I mean, it's your Mike.
Yeah,
it's not your property.
The property argument that now you own your land, you never own it. Because if they decide they're putting a road or a school or anything near your land and it has to be knocked down, they give you fair value price. So you can own that home for 300 years and they decide, you know what? We're putting an interstate through here. You got to pack up and leave. So I don't care what tax you pay or don't pay. You never own your land. The man owns the land.
Hey, and I do use a lot of psychedelics and I've meditated a whole lot. So please forgive me if this is too far beyond the scope of this conversation. But imagine instead, instead of a lease, or no, excuse me, instead of like this mortgage that you spend your whole life paying for and you never sort of get to reap the benefits necessarily, imagine if instead you had 100-year lease on wherever you lived, and your rent was maybe like a 20th of your income, like $100 a month, right? Imagine what would be available and accessible to you in terms of accessing your creativity and spending more time at your kids' little league practices and, right, enjoying life instead of having 2 or 3 jobs just to like meet your rent or pay your mortgage or get bound to this employer, right, that doesn't give a shit about you. And imagine instead of another interstate or expanding another lane on another superhighway, displacing more neighborhoods and increasing more pollution, imagine if we had like high-speed rail and if we had buses that were on time all the time, one right after another. Imagine if cities were walkable, and we had access to resources within walking distance and reliable public transportation and bullet trains like a lot of the developed world has already invested in. So I just want to invite us to expand our scope to what might be
No,
possible in a
the
more
more I look into other countries, the more you that obviously, like in Japan, they repair a bridge in like 3 days. It's like the something goes down and there's like a new lane of the road, like they're way ahead of everything when it comes to that type of thing. Transportation is simple, technology is there. Yeah, we that's where I think the wasteful spending and the wasteful, like, you go to parts of this country and it's undrivable. Like, you can't, the roads are outdated. But we live the American
Yes.
dream, man. We have the American dream. We're free.
I think
We're
we
free,
just
right?
lost my communism, to be honest.
No,
with you.
not communism, but like some of that stuff makes sense.
Right. Like China has invested in infrastructure instead of war for the past, several decades. So that this is where they're at. I do just want to, invite us to look at the inverse, right? So you're citing that these other countries can do all this great, production in a very brief amount of time through collecting their resources and things like that. Well, the entire existence of the Marine Expeditionary Unit, the MEU, right, is so that we could be anywhere in the world within a couple of days to destroy them and to wreak havoc.
What about humanitarian aid, Ryan? Maybe that's what it's meant for.
Okay, this is known as a COMREL. COMREL expands to community relations, which is essentially public relations, which is also known as propaganda.
We send after we blow them up, we send the White Cross next, and then we go help them after we blow them sideways.
After we ensure that our nephew is on the board of the construction company and that we have the investments in stocks before we announce this.
Yeah, no, I do think I think capitalism is great, but I also think that's some of the reasons that we have the problems we have when it comes to some of the things you mentioned, infrastructure, like the land, like banks are never, I don't care what you say, the banks control everything, the money, they're never going to allow us to be financially free. You're always going to have to buy a car, pay interest, buy a house, pay interest. And people are going to go 80 years and they're never going to have really owned anything. Did you really own it? Did you own it? Did you know? And the answer is going to be no.
Yeah. And I wonder what is so great about capitalism. I think what capitalism is great at is siphoning energy from land, from human beings to extract wealth for a very small amount of people. Accumulation is how capitalism works, and consolidation is the end result. A lot of us played Monopoly as children. Monopoly was actually designed as an anti-capitalist game, but we never really got through all the McCarthyist Red Scare propaganda to understand it. So I think we got to be clear on what is capitalism so great at when we're talking about
I don't
this.
want to look at, like, when you look at, when I think of socialism, or I think of anything like that, I think of that it would be people that don't participate. In a perfect world, if everybody participated, may be different. And capitalism allows you to excel, if even in if not the wrong intentions, but the right intentions, based on how much work you put into something. I still believe that everybody has to hold their own and by working hard, you can make more money. I don't believe in a society where people could just do nothing and get the same benefits of somebody who's doing everything. So that's where I lose that. If I was on psychedelics too, and I had a perfect world, everybody would do their fair share. And then that changes my mind. If we knew everybody was going to do their fair share, I just don't ever think that world will never exist. So then that's where you should be able to achieve higher things if you work harder. And I think that's where the money system comes in. I work harder to make this money. I should make more money because I'm working harder. Nobody should suffer, because I know you're very humanitarian wise. I don't want anybody to suffer, but nobody should benefit greatly from my hard work if they're not going to do any work. That's where I have a problem with it.
Hey, comrade, we are aligned on this. And this is why billionaires should not exist. This is why the Epstein class that is born into wealth, that doesn't work, right? And like landlords even describe themselves as like, this is their profession, right? This is their Shut your mouth. Shut your face. That is not like work. So labor and the working class, right, is us. And then you have the parasitic billionaire investor class. And yeah, we work. They don't, right? They extract the value of our labor. So we are aligned, my dude. And, for anybody that is a capitalist advocate, I invite you to look at the conditions for poor and working class citizens in this country and the conditions of late stage capitalism, the decline of empire, and ask yourself how well it's working, right? Remember that Americans are retiring in Vietnam because they can't afford to in the United States.
I have a question. So when you have to do it as a communist, I know you do have to do it. It was our first shots at you, when we were slinging them back and forth, when we said, oh, the Apple earphones and, you're on your iPhone. But how do you, maybe not justify, but how do you, or not work around, but how do you explain, like, the fact that you use those things, or that I'm assuming you pay some kind of rent. I mean, you have to live in a place unless you wanted to live on the street. So how do you justify that? I guess really is the only way I can say it.
How do I justify my use of AirPods? Is they were built.
No, but I mean, your landless peasant is paying rent to something that, like, it's just one of those things that you hate living about America. Like, what,
Well, the alternative is living on the street, and that's not my preference. So, and home ownership is out of reach for me. But consumer goods are made by workers. They're not made by the
made by
investor
children in
class.
China, communist China.
Hey, I am wearing Levi's, right? That were made, designed in San Francisco, probably made somewhere around the world. And so there is no
little him shoes over there making your little earpiece in communist China.
Yeah, and so there is an idea that there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. Yeah, we can make sort of less ethical decisions. That's why I invite us to remember the BDS, boycott, divest, and sanction, which is a way to actually create economic pressure against the Zionist occupation of Palestine, which is why they're making it illegal in a lot of the United States, which is scary. Also, we got to talk about the merge of the US and the Israeli military that's on the table at this moment. And then I just want to lastly bring up the incredible Punjabi Sikh people, SIKH, if we're going to talk about this tragedy in the United Kingdom. Rest in peace to the young person that lost their life. The Quran is an article of faith for the Sikh people. Sikhi is the 5th largest religion in the world. It is very social justice oriented. I can invite folks to consider looking up Langar, Langar, which is the Sikh tradition of feeding people for free, even the enemy in a lot of cases. So there's a deep history of the Sikh people that we can all learn from. Also, I'll just bring up that Balbir Singh Sodhi was the first post 9/11 martyr in a hate crime from Arizona, Tempe, Arizona, because he was mistaken for a Muslim person. So Americans, we can't even get our hate crimes right. And I think that's something that we got to be reflective of when we're talking about eliminating property taxes and divesting in education. I think 56% of citizens of the United States read at under a 6th grade equivalency.
There's one of them.
That's why I don't.
And then so just lastly on this real quick, right? One of the main things that communism has done throughout the world, Cuba, for example, is drastically increase the literacy rates of their populations.
Hey, we got TikTok here, man. We're good to go. Our youth has butt shaking videos and idolizing, social media people. So,
Hey, I do
all
want to
right.
acknowledge someone in the chat, though. They did say, bring up Pride. I am in San Francisco, and I do want to wish everyone a happy Pride month. Gay folks, les folks, queer folks, trans folks, you're all human beings. You're all worthy of love. You're safe with me. My pronouns are he, we, and comrade.
All right. And Ryan, I want to wish you a very, 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 very healthy Men's Health Awareness Month. And you are a white male going through it just like everybody else. And you come on here and you used to stress a lot more. But I'm happy that it's a little bit less stressful for you. And we'll see you next week, bud.
Thank you. Peace.
All right, later. All right. So I have a reflections portion that I've been wanting to do if we got time. All right, Pride. Let me get to Pride. All right, Pride. Pride said $2. Judo is jujitsu for straight men. Jujitsu is for the gays. Don't be a gay. # judo. You guys are cute. We are the law. I'm not really sure he was talking about. That was when we were talking about Dominic Izzo. And then he sent another super chat that said, read my super chats or I'm applying my funding LGBT, maybe Q. And then Jay said he will read mine. So I like to call them the $2 ones. These are actually called Juver chats, or a Juper chat. $2 to stop the conversation is a lot, as asking a lot. So, but I will read them. No, Eli is not gonna get a face reveal. Unfortunately, I don't like my kids on the internet. So, Mike, are you there?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Are you Googling how to become a communist?
No, I'm not going to become a communist. I don't believe in any of that. But
hey, comrade, that's cool, man.
He's right about the fucking rent and the jacked up bullshit. You can't deny that.
You.
No, I mean, we know who controls all that.
Can't say it.
Oh, hold on. I didn't mean to do that. My bad.
What you got?
I got 2 videos. One is, you ready for that? Have anything else to talk about?
Yeah. No, just reflections, but that can go to the end. Right now?
Yeah, go ahead. Can't hear Mike.
So, dudes that own cats. Did you see the comments on that reel? I don't know what it is because I said send it to men that owns a cat. So maybe people were getting it and getting pissed, but Jake's ability to really dig into the insecurities of men, I commend. And I underestimated Jake's ability. That's a nice dad joke, Mike. That was really funny.
Everybody, there's 300 comments about Mike. They can't hear me, and I'm responding. I'm the fucking asshole.
I'm not reading the comments.
There's like 70 comments that say Mike has no
They're
audio.
fucking with you. We know,
I know
we
they
can
are.
hear you. You can see the green dots that they can't see.
Yeah.
Now, but yesterday, that would have fucking been a good one on everybody. I would have fucking commended them. But after yesterday, we discovered that you need to be able to see certain things for our program to work. So, but I mean, and cops, man, I really rubbed cops the wrong way when I said the uniform things and going back to discipline. I was having to tell cops in the comments that you were rage baited, dude. Like, I feel like I'm 14 talking to a grown up. Like, I'm like, I don't even like showing my hand that's more of a character, but these guys were losing their fucking minds. People are, oh man, like one dude was seriously like 3 comments said, I want to meet with you. I live in Florida. I want to outshoot you. I want to fight you. I want to do all this stuff. I want it to be filmed live. And I'm like, and then he erased it all, I think. But it was
because you said they're about the uniform standards.
Yeah, obviously, dude. We're not going to go backwards in time and put polyester on cops. And I care about cops. And if I was the supreme ruler of cops and they said, Supreme Ruler Tyler, do you want all cops? No, I don't want them in polyester. And you brought up a great point. You brought up the fact that was meant to enhance the thing that's in the uniform. The NFL, you were getting a lot of props to comments. The NFL comparison was actually very good. Everything's more sleek and aerodynamic. to make the person in the uniform better at their job.
Yeah.
So,
You can't
but
knock
man, they're fucking mad.
You can't knock that polyester is like, that's why I use that picture for the stuff I was doing for the campaign. It does. It looks sharp, but it's not practical to patrol. But you can't, like, I think I agree, and we agree, you can't look like a bag of ass either. Like, you can't be we can't give you this state of the art uniform and then your stomach comes through a belt and your freaking outer carrier and sticks out 4 or 5 inches and your magazines are facing the wrong way. Like, that's not going to help anybody. So yes, my reason for going to that type of uniform would be you can run better, you can fight better. You're not like, you ever tried to, like, you get on the ground in that polyester and you can't, your crotch gets caught, your legs get caught by the fucking seams.
You know how many
can't
pants
move.
I ripped? I ripped a lot of polyester pants.
I fucking, when I did my pond rescue and I saved the person from drowning, I had the polyester fucking pants on, dude, and they're way worse to swim in than fucking BDUs, dude. And it was brutal. So it's like, I get it. But then you get to Miami and South Florida, like I said, these guys have these great uniforms and they still don't wear a fucking vest, dude. They wear a fucking Under Armour polo, a gun belt, and pants or shorts and no vest. So it's like, we made it even easier, dude. The thing sits on the outside. You can take it off in your car for a little bit. You can get some air underneath of it.
This is how mad. I found it. He didn't delete it. So I'm not going to say someone deleted something when they didn't. I just couldn't find it earlier. Somebody said, obviously, this is a normal account name and a black icon, right? Though they're hiding behind a fake profile. I have to be honest. I'm noticing this channel getting more and more cringe. I can totally see why Brent left. I'm starting to actually dislike this dude. I said, bro, you're still a fan, admit it, or come on the show and tell us how we're cringe, but you won't. Eyeball emojis. He said, dude, I'm in Florida. It's not the entire show. Copville is cool. It's more so you. I challenged you to a lifting, running, shooting competition on here. I would love for the show to do it live. Give me any day or time. I live in Florida. I'll travel on my own dime, LOL.
Let's do it.
And I replied, I would smoke you in all those events only because you're my biggest fan, and I mean that. Thank you. He said, dude, can we please set up a daytime? I've been dead serious, LOL. I think competition is always a good thing. He then said, I also think it is what likely that you'll lose. So if we film it and you're embarrassed if you lose and don't have to post it, it's up to you. I'll do it filmed, not filmed, man. If you want a professional contract, I'm willing to bet 1K if I lose. And if you win, if you win, I will get nothing. Let me know. And he also said, I also own cats, which would make this even better. I replied, every time you reply this comment, you have to listen to me talk. I don't do this for me. I do this for my fans. You're the man. And then this is the last one. He said, no, I have my volume turned down. It's very clear you aren't willing to back off your statement. Color me shocked. If I'm sure you do it for the fans and not to make any income whatsoever with the companies you own, which are represented by the show.
What is this is under the one about the uniform?
Yeah.
How does that have anything to do with the uniform though?
It's just people getting rage baited, dude. When I sit there and tell you as a stranger, if I tell you right now, there's no profile picture. There's nothing about this account. If I 100% tell you I'm gonna smoke you in all those events, fool, dude, you're starting to fall for it. Like, obvious, but that's what I'm saying, man. Men are.
But here's where I go with this is that's like not knowing, like you might have like Brock Lesnar and he's a international chess champion on his free time. You have no idea. And you're like, this fucking musclehead, I'll beat you at chess. You don't know that he's a fucking expert. Now, I'm not giving you credit for being an expert in anything, but what if you can shoot? And what if, this guy over a Instagram reel where nobody's ever seen you in the performance of your duties, really, or me. Nobody's seen us shoot that other than people who know us, work out, run, bench, all those things that people are talking about. But I don't know. When you write a check out there on the internet, it's like, how do you not know? How does he know? How does he not know you? You just don't talk about shooting and you shoot all the time. How? Because you don't like uniforms, or you didn't like that kind of uniform. It's like, and what what do those things prove as well?
Well, what it was it was somebody trying to slide in there and say this show is cringe. Now, well, the first thing I do is I always go and see if they follow us.
Except for Cop.
And then when I make light of how like they're still commenting on it, and technically you are a fan. We've already talked about this. Even if you hate the character, if you watch the show, you're a fan. It's the same thing. I watch like reels where I'm like, this is I hate this guy, but I can't stop watching. I'm a fan. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. And when I kind of start making fun of that and poking at that, like, dude, you can't really be falling for the rage bait. Like, there's no way.
I don't get the Brent leaving thing anyway, because it's like LA versus New York. It's two different worlds. It's just not like I respect everybody just say I left because I like that way. But it's like to say the show's become cringe. It's not it's not the same show. It's a completely different animal. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, still watching, still getting mad, and I mean, at least he's got enough sense in his head to know that Cowbell's okay. I mean, we're good there. But it is what it is. It's entertainment, dude, at the end of the day. And you're right. You get sucked into this. This is where you're gonna draw the line. Like, this show is gonna make you lose your shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's the classic fucking, what's that movie, Gladiator? Are you not entertained? Like, this is what you signed up to our Instagram for, bud. And I'm still giving it to him. But anyways, I just want to reflect.
Here's the thing: if somebody's gonna get that mad, they can be mad today and leave, and then you know what they're gonna do? Wonder what that motherfucking goddamn Hoover's saying today. Let me go see what that stupid idiot's saying. So it's gonna happen, because when I block somebody, or when I'm done with somebody, I'm done. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, it's over. They don't exist anymore, and I'm not gonna go look at anything they do or be interested in anything they say.
Cody, I love it. That's it is what it is. He said, who the fuck is Brent?
Arvin.
Might not. All right, let's get into these stories. Videos, sorry. Videos, I mean.
Let me see. This is a New York. I believe this is a New York.
Let me hear. Good call. Good call.
Underway. How about that?
I would say good call. The stairs. First off, I'm fighting a dude. That video right there goes to show you whether that guy was kind of trained or just lucky. The human body is capable of doing a lot of different things, and the fact that he was pulling that cop on his knees, and that cop was sliding on his knees.
They can't use diaphragm control, so they can't pin him.
Yeah,
so they're at such a tactical disadvantage because they can't just body slam them and get on top of them. In New York, they can't hold them down. So it's like, there's your example of like, when you can't do certain things, you're screwed. All right, now this other one is going to be an officer involved shooting where the premises calls a dude out of control, psycho, crazy behavior, beating up stuff, throwing stuff, acting like a maniac, and this is the encounter that follows.
Radio Thomas, one at gunpoint. Put your hands behind your back. Do it now, not you. Put your hands behind your back now. Show me your hands. Show me your hands now. Show me your other hand. Show me your right hand. Show me your other hand now. Stop. Stop walking towards me. Show me your hand. Show me your other hand. Stop! 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 Stop walking towards me! Stop walking towards me! Stop! 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 Fine. One Baker, shots fired. One Baker, shots fired.
That's it. Killed him.
I just have a couple questions. Not trying to be a dick. Was there any? Do you know what was going on? What the call was for?
It was a mental health crisis. He was naked, beating on people's doors, acting absolutely outrageous, and multiple calls for 911 for him being like in a mental health crisis, which is what we saw. He was naked and acting like a fucking maniac.
And if I'm not mistaken, he showed him both hands, right? There was no
Yes,
question about
he
was unarmed.
No, they're saying he didn't. The way I'm talking, he didn't have a hammer. Oh, somebody said he shot him because had a hammer between it, and it between his legs. That was good. They set me up on that one. No, he was. It was fucking Sal. He was unarmed, and now this goes into, there was a couple in Colorado that were unarmed, and the agencies backed them. We got the New Jersey one where the bat, Sergeant Bruno, they didn't back him. This is unarmed, and then this is a tough one because you have a psychotic, crazy individual, and this goes down the path of, do you have to go hands-on? Do you have to risk being killed by going hands-on first with a dude that's out of his mind before shooting him? I mean, this is one, and then this is like, you're probably gonna say, well, this goes against everything you always say. This is tough because if you look at the guy and go, I don't think I can take, like, he's out of control, he's mentally crazy, he's like a monster, he's like a living dead character, and he's not complying. Do you have to holster your gun and go, well, I'm going to risk everything to fight him, or can you shoot him?
Mike, I think you're gonna think that, be surprised what I have to say. I don't think it's me personally, dude. I never would have shot that guy. I would have fucking I would have lost the fight with a naked dude with his wiener on my fucking face as I'm fighting him off before I take someone's life. That's just a weapon, totally different story, but I'm assuming this guy had no weapon. There was no calls about a weapon. And at the end of the day, sometimes it's like being a plumber when a toilet explodes all over you. If it's your day, it's your day. It never really happens, but if you can't
do you think there could have been a size of him that changes that in your head? 6'6", 270, 300 pounds.
Oh, man, that's a tough one, dude.
I'm saying. So this is where, but this is where I get into this, is like, if you have a guy, there's a number, and there's a look. You look out of your eyes, you see a human, you might get your ass whooped, or you might win very easily. But there's a look, when you assess somebody, just like when you're looking at a car and you go, that car's worth X of dollars or whatever. There is a human that hits a certain point in your mind. You go, I don't think I can take that guy. I think I have to shoot him. We all have it. We all have it. We don't know where that guy's meter is, right? And then it's obviously, it can't be a 3'11" midget with, like, oh, that's 100 pounds. We would all go, that's wrong. But at some point, there is another human when we look at them and go, I can't win this fight. And I'm in very good shape and I'm ready to go. And there's no way I can't beat, like, Brock Lesnar just walked up. I can't. I'm not going to be able to get this guy in custody. Are you allowed to shoot him? So that's where I go with this, is like, this guy's mind, is he at that level? Like, I can't see how big the guy is. I don't know all this stuff yet, but
like that, I don't know. And like I said, I noticed how I subconsciously prefaced my explanation to you with, this is what I would do, because I don't
think it's wrong. And I kind of agree with you that, like, my pride would get in the way and I'd go, I can't just shoot an unarmed dude. I got to go hands on. And then I'm laying there getting the fucking life choked out of me. I'm like, boy, I wish I would have shot this guy.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
Like, man, as you're going to sleep, you're like, man, this was a bad idea.
Or some dude rolls up on you while you're getting worked by a naked dude, and they're like, I'm never gonna let you.
Hold on, man. Get their cell phone out. And they're like, look at those over there. Like,
he's this guy real quick.
He's getting teabagged by some homeless dude. Like, it's like, I thought I had him. So it's like, but yeah, immediately. That's where. But again, to say, the video says, let's go bring it back up.
Not you.
Officer fired immediately. That I don't agree with. Officer fired immediately. We have to get him side of the story.
If I think after we both kind of talked about it and gave our piece and what we wouldn't have done, I think we both agree that as long as that officer can go and articulate his life, his safety was at risk, I think he's good. I think he's good. You just can't charge an officer like that.
Yeah, I don't think you can fire somebody immediately, no matter how bad, unless it's crime, like he's robbing banks and obviously gets arrested. I don't like this immediate firing without giving the opportunity for somebody to explain, like, I looked at the guy and I didn't think I could take him. And do I have to go get my ass whooped? Do I have to go get beat up? And I go, as a man, I know we both go, yeah, we do. We signed up for this, and I get it.
Yeah.
But as if you're like, hey, I don't think I can take this guy. And he's,
I mean, how many times have you gotten out of your car, Mike, and went, fuck, how'd this lottery get me today? How was this my call? How am I first one here?
Yeah. Why did I just not turn left and start going towards Chipotle earlier? Now I'm right here. Usually it was those really bad calls where you're like, oh, this report's going to be fucking 12 pages. Like, I can't believe I got here. Yeah.
Multiple businesses, multiple callers. Like,
yeah, sorry, I found fingerprints on 11 windows back here for you.
Hey, the motherfucker's got a grin. Like, hey, I found a bunch of, I found some casings over here. Like, oh, you did.
There's more.
You did.
There's more. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
thanks, man.
I found 11 witnesses down the road. They all want to give statements.
All right, that is that's so good. That's where you start. That is good cop work, but that is the worst. And sometimes you'll go, I mean, I already have 10 statements. I really don't need 10 more people saying the same thing. But you're like, yeah.
And then 3 days later, some guy comes forward and goes, hey, I saw it all. Clear as day, I have a video of it, but the officer didn't answer me. He wouldn't answer he wouldn't listen to me.
He told me we're good.
Yeah. Look, I got it all on video.
And that's how you fucking tarnish your career, because detectives go, what was that deputy's name again?
Fucking Dokes is a moron. He fucking got the whole thing on video. Yep. That's it, man. That's how it goes.
All right. Last super chat. Cody says, new shirt idea. I thought I had him. Nice super chat. I appreciate it. And another Fumasa with a, oh, that's not a super chat. You don't pronounce Chipotle right, though. So
Chipotle.
tonight,
what do I say? Hold on. Chipotle.
It's
That's how you say
Chipotle.
it?
No. I think a lot of people say Chipotle, though. Tonight, Counterculture Inc. Network, we have we have Counterculture live online. If you like the night shift, you're going to love this show. It's the online crew, the Gaming Boys, are going to host the first ever regional, which is kind of a joke because they're like the nomad group. They're all over the place, but they represent the online community. So they're going to be handling the Counterculture. So 8:00 tonight, Counterculture Inc. Network. Join the boys for Counterculture Live. It'll be a good time. And
Slater.
I can't wait. How awful they do.
Slater going to jump his fire in the bike.
Yo, Slater, you got to pop in, man. But I'll be the POC for a while. But that show is gonna have a POC, sending out the links, sending out everything, recruiting for the day. That Thursday night show ain't no joke, dude. You're starting to plan for it 5-6 p.m. to have all your shit ready.
Don't forget to stop watching watching the videos, Slater. If you come on, you have to turn YouTube off to be on the show.
That'd be a benefit. Although it made for a really good show that you did that.
It did.
But tomorrow, after tonight, Counterculture Network, Counterculture Live at 8, we will be back. Anti-Hero Broadcast, 1 p.m. Friday. See you guys.
JV team for life.